So I want to introduce the chefs first. Here on my left side is Mr. James Mackerel. He worked under Chef Todd English in Union Square, and Todd English is one of these guys that kind of paved the way for farm-to-table kind of food down in Union Square. So Chef Mackerel has worked for Chef Todd English for about 10 years, running most of his operations. And now he is here opening. He opened the restaurant this past June in Pinehurst. What did you say, right?
Yes, he
Pinehurst.
did.
Pinehurst on 7. Roasted mackerel, which serves what we talking about on the table. Next to him is a really good friend of mine, which is Chef Horowitz. He owns a restaurant downtown called Duck's Eatery, which focuses on Creole, Southern kind of cooking techniques with a little bit of Vietnamese and Southeast Asian kind of fusion.
Nice.
His connection to Uptown is his father, was it grandfather, right? He used to own a delicatessen up here, and Jewish delicatessen, so he's a homegrown boy in this family here, so we welcome Chef Harold Villarosa. We'll go to Miss Ruby Duke from the Boar Farms. She's a quintessential, most important part of this whole thing, right? The farmer. And she, fun fact, she grew up in 105th Street in Broadway, which back in the 70s was Uptown, so. She's coming to homecoming to us. We are very, very happy to have her here, and thank you so much for coming. Next to him is a very, very, very old man. Miguel Trinidad. He's the chef owner of Maharlika and Jeepney. He's a Dominican chef cooking Filipino food in the Lower East Side. That's going against the grain, right? So, Chef Miguel seen the change of the Lower East Side from what it was in the 80s to what it is now. So his input is very much diverse and also very critical to what's happening in town. Next to him is Chef Humberto. He is, what can I say, the quintessential rags to riches, right? He's an Ecuadorian immigrant coming here when he was 15, working his way up to be executive chef. Badass fucking cook, right? Stars de la Linea, 11 Madison Park, per se. All of them. Check him off your list. He's been there. Yeah? So he's a badass, yeah? So he's part of a kind of a program on Tavern Degree. He's working on that project, so keep an eye on him, right? This white bread jacket. He's from Wisconsin. His name is Chef Jozwiak. We became really good friends working next to each other in Noma. He staged at Pure Orsi in Lyon, France. And he works at a restaurant called 16 in the Trump Towers in Chicago right now, which recently just was served their second Michelin star. So he's a badass. So we're going to start. First question. Mr. Big Boy. What does farm-to-table mean to you?
Farm-to-table to me means... Can you speak louder, please?
Sing out, Louise.
Farm-to-table, what it means to me is working closely with farmers, using, like he said, local ingredients. I try to spend as much time as possible going to the markets, getting the ingredients that the guy pulled out of the ground, that morning, and sell them to me. In Union Square, mostly where I go because I'm on the way in that particular market. Using those ingredients, bringing them back to the restaurant, and not, destroying their natural beauty. It just makes my job very easy. I just have to put some salt on it and it already tastes it. It pays off for me. So.
Like a cauliflower.
Exactly.
What's farm-to-table mean to you, sir?
Farm-to-table to me is simply, I feel like after
this kind of like cleanliness movement, this war on bacteria, where people stopped eating products that were grown from farms and everything came from a can, and the idea of being modern. I feel it's just like a resurgence of coming back to actually how we should eat as people. What's healthy, you grow something, you eat it. It's very, very, very simple. I feel like post-World War II, people tried to simplify everything and make everything, like I said, modern. And it's just trying to get back to reality.
Cool. So, Humberto?
I grew up in the farm, so my mom, my grandma, my grandpa, they always were farmers. I always helped them out when I was a kid. I grew up growing vegetables, and what I used to do was just pure vegetables. We used to buy salt and pepper, but I know what it tastes like our own grown vegetables. And now I'm here. Before when I was 16 and I came to this country, I never had the difference it was like humongous, like all the vegetables were like full of chemicals and like never will taste right. So when I become as like a young cook and I was like with a chef like here and there, like back to 14 years ago, there was no farmer market. There was literally maybe once a week somewhere, but nobody was into it. Now it's like this beauty, and I got to locally work with the farmers and went to their own farms and see and grow these beautiful vegetables. This like how it comes out with natural from the ground, and pull all that and brings back my memories, and it's like feels good about it.
Well, farm to table for me, as Harold said, I'm an old man.
So the farmer's first thing in America.
I remember when turd tastes like. But I was fortunate. I grew up in the Lower East Side, right across the street from the Essex Street Market, where there were small vendors there, and most of the vegetables that came were fresh. They were clean. They still had dirt all over them. We went right across the street and bought this stuff and had to go home and wash these things. They weren't pre-packaged. So farm to table is going back to the natural, pure state of what these foods really are and what they taste like, and not really messing with it too much. Having its natural flavor and just enjoying it for what it is.
And let's go straight to the farmer. I should have gone to the first one. It's bad time, sir. But I want to give you first, man.
I'm pretty spoiled. I grew up in the city. I've had a farm now for 5 years, and at least 75% of what we eat at our table is from our own farm. And what that means, though, is we only eat tomatoes for a couple weeks. It's seasonal, it changes, and that's really important for us. We work with other, we buy product from other local farmers, and we store carrots, and so it changes seasonally, and it makes it, what we're eating really dynamic. But I think also because as a farmer, we work with chefs. I think something that's often forgotten is if you're eating at a farm-to-table restaurant, when you order a plate of that food, you're actually supporting a small farm or a local farm. And that's really important to know because without that relationship, we wouldn't be farmers.
Sure.
Support the restaurants that do farms.
With me on the same page, but I'm just pleased to be here and be around you guys, and a lot of you guys are really help too. Miguel's my neighbor and good friend, and for me, farm table's been going on for a few years now, and it's fantastic and it's great, and I'm glad people are doing that, and like Matt was saying, to get back into these ingredients that were lost for so many years. For me, focusing on Southern food at all. It's not that I focus on Southern food, it's that I focus on people that are still keeping up these traits, whether it's down south or here in other countries. People are keeping up this passion for their ingredients. And so now when we look at dishes in the restaurant, we're not looking at dishes like, sometimes we are, but we're looking at like, oh, I want to make this great terrine or this dish. We're saying, okay, well, these are the products that we're creating and that we have. What can we build around them? you know. So it starts with the product, and as a chef, it's amazing that we've gone so long without doing farm to table. It's amazing that we've been missing this, because how as a chef can you be so passionate about the food you cook if you're not working with farmers that are passionate about the food they make?
Right.
Well,